Good morning. We're glad that you could join us as we go through our information on the foundation and our lending programs. Just so you know, we are recording this and it will be put on our website. So if you want to refer back to it, you sure can. I'd like to introduce Tim Penny, our president, and he'll tell you more about our foundation.
Hey, good morning. Good to be with all of you today. I'll just give an overview of the foundation, and then the team here will follow up with more detailed discussion of our economic development and lending activities. The Southern Minnesota Initiative Foundation has been around for 35 years. We came into existence in the 1980s in the middle of what was then referred to as the farm crisis. We were created to be a regional and economic community development foundation to invest in activities that would help to create vitality across our region. As a part of that, I'll just mention incidentally, we were authorized to do lending because that is the core of the reason that we were established. Our vision is for a prosperous region. In that, we share that vision with many other organizations in the region. And in fact, our motto, as you can see at the bottom of this first slide, is collaborating for regional vitality. So in all of our work, we try to reach out to partners and assure that our resources become a complement, a supplement to what others are doing to advance the vitality of this region. And then our mission statement just kind of restates that same goal of economic and community vitality. The next slide up gives you an overview of how much we have brought to this region through our resources over the past 35 years, almost 60 million in programming, 34 million in lending, 44 million roughly in grant making. We raise about $1 locally from corporations, banks, cities, counties, individuals for every $13 that we bring into the region. We have an endowment fund that's well in excess of 55 million at this point, and our annual expenditures within the region are somewhere in the $5 million range year to year. We focus on three areas: early childhood, economic development, and community vitality. We can't be everything to everyone. With a $5 million annual budget, we determined some number of years ago to concentrate our work in these three areas where we believe our resources can be a major benefit to other work that's going on in this space within the region. I've often said that if you spread too few dollars over too many things, you're not going to make a huge difference. So we really try to concentrate our work as best we can in these three areas of focus. The next slide up is the region that we serve here, South Central, Southeastern Minnesota. We do have about a dozen regional centers, communities of about 10,000 or larger. That makes us unique in rural Minnesota in that we do have these very vibrant regional centers. But we've got about 150 towns in this region that are 2,000 population and less, many of them 1,000 and less. And so we try to make sure that our resources are spread as best we can across the region, both in the large communities and the smaller communities. We invest almost $2 million annually in early childhood programming. Here again, the needs are great. And so every dollar of resource that organizations can bring to this space is going to be hugely impactful. We know that with many two-income households, single-parent households, parents are looking for quality childcare for their preschool-age children, and we do our best to lay our resources into this space to the benefit of quality early childhood programming in Southern Minnesota. We do annual early childhood grants to groups and organizations across the region, including early childhood family education programs at school districts as an example. And that is to help them expand, enhance, improve their early childhood programming in their community. We give away, in partnership with two regional publishing companies, Abdo and Capstone, about 25,000 early reader books to roughly 70 organizations for early reading programs. We do dozens of early childhood provider trainings at no cost to these early childhood providers. It allows them to get the continuing education credits they need to keep their licensure, to stay in business and be the best that they can be. We also manage an AmeriCorps project in our region where we recruit typically young people, usually right out of college, to work for a year or two in an early childhood site to be essentially a teacher aide. And we have a variety of other programs in the early childhood space, and again, adding up to almost $2 million of investment per year. And when you look at how those resources are spread across our region, this map gives you a sense of the reach of our programming in large towns and small across southern Minnesota. Our economic development work exceeds $2 million annually. It varies from year to year. This photo, I say with some pride, is one of our loan clients, Busy Baby, a new product just created a few years ago. It's a mat that you can place on any surface, and it has tethers that hold children's toys or spoons or bowls or cups, so that you don't play that pick up off the floor game. And this young lady came out of the military and came back home to Minnesota and decided to build this business after she had her first child and was going through that learning experience. And her business continues to grow and prosper. And we're very excited to have been a small part in her success. So these bullet points on the side of the sheet will be elaborated on more by Marcia and Diane, and perhaps with Brian weighing in. But these are the various resources that we bring to support entrepreneurship here in our region. We do have a small enterprise loan program in partnership with the SBA. We have a gap funding loan program where we can do 3, 4, 5, 6 gap funding loans in partnership with a bank or an EDA or others. We have a small seed fund, which can be repaid or it can be treated as equity investment. This is for firms that have a new business idea, a new product that they want to bring to market. We also created an equity fund several years ago, where up to $100,000 can be invested in a startup business here in our region to help keep that business growing here. And this equity investment is done typically in partnership with other equity groups within the region, like Mayo Medical Ventures or the Southeastern Minnesota Equity Fund or Ophir Angels or others. We do a variety of business trainings throughout the year, culminating in the Entrepreneur Bridge Conference, which is farther down in the bullet points. That's an annual conference that we've sponsored for many years for many of our own business clients, but also others. Always been well received. Also on this list is the Prosperity Initiative, a business training program that we've offered for several years now to new immigrant and minority entrepreneurs in our region. We get about 15 enrollees in this program for the counseling and the mentoring that's offered through this program. And then we have a huge partnership with local foods organizations within our 20 county region to help grow the local food sector here in southern Minnesota, which is a growing and exciting sector of our economy. That also culminates in an annual local foods festival, which I describe as a farmer's market on steroids. It really helps draw attention to all the local foods that's going on here in southern Minnesota. About 1,500 people come to that event. 70, 80 entrepreneurs exhibit at the event, and a number of grocery and restaurant buyers come and check out these wares at that event. The list goes on, but you'll see closer to the bottom of the list, we also have a SCORE chapter that works out of our office, and we help with providing them space for their mentoring. We also handle a lot of other logistical details for that SCORE chapter. And when you spread our resources across the region, that's how it looks in the most recent fiscal year. Our community devoted to a few different activities. First and foremost, we learned from a book written by a guy named Jack Schultz called Boomtown USA that one of the keys to small town success is to have a community fund. And so many years ago, we decided that we would help smaller towns create and maintain community funds so they can build.
You need to take them pants off and throw them in the garbage. They too little.
In a variety of ways. We now have
they are
town community funds under our umbrella, and that aggregates hundreds of dollars in each of these community funds. some larger than others. And then they invest back in their community with grant making on an annual basis. These community funds can also be used for one-time projects where tax deductible donations can be made for a specific project. So the money comes in, the money goes out. But again, it's a resource that can be critically important to small town success. We have a small town paint program for murals, welcoming signs, historic buildings, and a number of communities receive that free paint each year for those projects. And then we have an annual small town grant program. This year, I believe we issued somewhere in the neighborhood of $200,000 to 16, 17 small towns in our region for projects and activities that were important to them at the time.
That's the sweater to them pants that you just touched.
We just want to remind people, if you're online, if you can just mute yourself, please. Thank you.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so those are pants.
What is this, Mom?
Next slide up is an indication of how our community, small town community grants and paint programs and other activities are spread across the region. And the slide after this is the 30 small town community funds that we help to manage. We're essentially the fiscal agent for these small town community funds. And again, they have been important assets in these communities. And every year we get additional communities that ask us to play this fiscal agent role for them so that they can create a small town community fund. One option for building assets in these community funds is we can, as a foundation, accept farmland as a donation with the pledge that we would continue to be essentially the farm manager and rent that farmland. So the family donating the land gets a charitable benefit, but we can then, after taxes and expenses, use that rental income to either support one of the 30 small town
Take that pull up off and go
or it
pee
can go
in.
into our own budget that we
Because you
can
won't.
use to support our
You
program.
don't need to pull up on, you
The
need
family
panties
can
on.
set up a designated fund where they would have control over the purposes toward which these proceeds would go. We have a couple of these that are in a sense in process now, but we're continuing to promote this program as we believe it could be a really great way for the wealth in southern Minnesota, much of which is tied up in our land, to be used for lasting benefit to our region. And then last year, we were called upon by the state of Minnesota with federal dollars to do business recovery grants. And we did 1,024 small business grants, 10,000 per business in partnership with the Minnesota Department of Economic Development. The legislature approved additional dollars for this purpose for this year. And we are working with the Minnesota Department of Economic Development to get those dollars out the door. The same amount, 10 million allocated this year. Roughly 930 businesses in our region will benefit from them. These are all small businesses that were affected by the shutdowns and the restrictions that were imposed during those COVID. In partnership with the Minnesota Department of Education, we did wraparound grants, largely to the region or to some of the early childhood partners that we have across the region to help them adjust to the created by COVID. We also did matching grants to each of our community funds for any programming in their community that was tied to the needs that arose from the economic and health challenges posed by COVID. And then we offered to 3 regional organizations a grant of $10,000 apiece for them to work with our local food producers and processors to help them essentially move to online marketing, because many of them were losing not grocery store, but restaurant markets at that time. So when you add all that up, it was about 12 million of additional resources over and above our normal 5 million budget that we were able to bring to the benefit of this region in the previous fiscal year. So that's just a map of those 1,024 business recovery grants. And again, next year, this map will look almost as crowded because we'll have about 930 grants out the door during this current fiscal year. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to our lending team and they can take it from here.
All right, thanks, Tim.
Well, no matter how you hear about us, we're really glad that you did hear about us. And if you need funding for a business, we would love to have you check out our website and get some general information there. Or if you have certain questions, you can certainly call us anytime and ask about our loan programs. We'd be happy to send you information, which could include our fact sheet for each applicable program, an application for that program. We also have resources that we can refer you to help with business plan and or cash flow projection, and that's all free. We have organizations that help, such as SCORE and the Small Business Development Centers in our area, as well as our CEF. They all help free of charge, and it can help get your application approved if you have a good business plan and cash flow projection. What we would need from you is all listed on the right-hand side of the fact sheet, but it includes the application and your business plan, cash flow projections, financial information. If you have a business already going, we would need your financial information on the business as well as personal. These are the available loan programs, and we'll go through each one of them and give you a little information about each. But again, don't hesitate to call us with any questions you have on them. The Emerging Entrepreneur Loan Program is a program that we are happy to partner with Minnesota Deed. They gave us funding for this and have been very generous in helping us work with this. It's specifically for minorities, women, veterans, persons with disabilities, or low-income entrepreneurs. The amounts that we're able to do are $5,000 to $15,000. As you can see, the uses of funds are for startup or expansion costs, machinery, inventory, supplies, and working capital. This is the only loan program we have that is Sharia acceptable. All of our other programs, we are not yet able to do that. We've been asking for it from SBA for some, but this one we are able to do Sharia acceptable financing. We do have an administration fee that's charged monthly, but there is no interest charged. Some of our programs, as you can see, is Shawarmania in Mankato. We have the China House Cafe in Truman, Fahan Transportation in Owatonna, and Optional Tech Assist in Faribault are just a few of the businesses that have taken advantage of this loan program.
And this loan program was started by Deed in 2017, and we've been a partner with them since 2017 and given out about 10 loans within this program. Deed supported about 30 organizations within the state of Minnesota for this program, and we were lucky to be one of those recipients within our region.
The next loan program I'd like to mention is our Building Blocks loan program, and it's for child care providers, family in-home child care providers. We can go up to $15,000 for this, and just about any financing needs that you have for the child care, we can help with. The interest rate for this one is 5%, and it's very good to help get you more information, because once you're in our system, we can send you grant information, we can send you other resources to go to as well. Our Grow a Farmer loan program is for small scale farmers, not conventional farmers. As you can see, the dollar amount is up to $15,000, and anything you need for your farming business. Pictured here is EJ Mushrooms from Kasota. He was growing mushrooms in a building, not outside. And we've also had chicken farmers, vegetable producers, quail producer, microgreen grower. We're able to help with a lot of different small scale farmers. Then our small enterprise loan program We use this one a lot in partnership, even with the other loan programs, because this one also has technical assistance, which I'll go through in a minute. This can go up to 35,000, and inventory, equipment, supplies, and working capital are the uses. As you can see, we've helped West Oakland Auto Repair, which is a mechanic. We've done restaurants, food trailers, retail stores, services such as salons and mechanics, cleaning services, welders, and lawyers. So it kind of runs the gamut of any type of retailer service. We can do local foods in this one. There's a lot of different ways we can help. The technical assistance, we have gotten a grant from SBA because this funding comes from SBA. We get a loan from them, which we in turn lend to you. But because of that, we are able to get some grant funds for technical assistance to help our loan clients. And we can help them with QuickBooks training. We can help them with marketing ideas. We can help pay for some classes that are pertinent to their businesses. There's a lot of ways that we can help once you're a loan client in this program.
And this is also one of our most active loan programs. Although we like to partner with banks and community foundations within our community banks within our region, we can do these loans by ourselves. Our partners are great within this program as referrals to that. So keep this one in mind as a technical assistance, a great benefit to this program.
Okay, so if you need additional dollars beyond the 35 that Marcia talked about, we do have loan dollars available up to 200,000. And with this program, we do have to have a partner. And typically that partner is a bank. So we call this program, actually what we do is fill the gap. And what I mean by that, I'm just going to give you an example. So let's say your business needs $100,000 for a piece of equipment. You're going to go to your bank, and the bank obviously is not going to lend you that whole 100,000. So they typically will lend maybe 60–70% of the dollar amount that you need based on that equipment. So let's say then maybe you have 10,000 of your own dollars. So you're still short the $30,000. And that's where we come in to fill that gap. So we can do the use of funds. We can do, this is the only program actually that we can use for building. If you're going to do an expansion or if you're actually building a building, the majority of the loans that we do in this program are for equipment. We can use it for inventory and working capital. Personal guarantees are usually required for this, and our interest rates, we typically look at what the bank is doing for interest rates and typically try to match that, and sometimes even a little lower. Again, with this one though, I just want to mention that if the gap is a lot larger than, let's say, that 30,000 that I just talked about, we do partner with a lot of different organizations. We partner with your city, the county that you live in, Region 9, any organization that has funding available. The bank a lot of times will use a 504 guarantee or a 7A guarantee. With the example that I have on the right, it's Living Greens, this was a prime example of, we had probably 5 or 6 different partners to get this business up and running. And this is a really, really unique business that does leafy greens. They grow them vertically. And this is just in Faribault. So it's called aeroponics. And if you go to the grocery store, a lot of times I think you probably will see this if you like lettuce. They will be in the grocery stores. So yeah, really cool organization and right in Faribault. Okay, so another program we have is our seed fund. So this is what we call the people that have new ideas. And I know Tim talked about a little bit about this Beth from Busy Baby. She is a prime true example of how this seed fund program works. So she had a baby and a lot of her friends had babies. So they went out to a restaurant one day and put their babies in the high chairs, and they had toys and food all over the floor. And she got home from that day and said, there has to be a better way to be able to take your children out to the restaurant. So she actually came up with this mat, this Busy Baby mat, and along with different ways to attach toys. And maybe you even saw her on the Shark Tank. She was on the Shark Tank, and we gave her the loan for $25,000. She used it for originally at the prototype. Then she came to us because her business was growing so much that she came to us for a couple additional loans. So she got a seed fund, she utilized our loan programs, and her business, like Tim said, is just going awesome. So with Christmas coming up, if you know someone that has a baby or maybe your grandchildren, this is a perfect gift. To give for the Christmas. Just go on her website, and like I said, her business is just doing awesome. Okay, the last one I'm going to talk about is our equity fund. This is just an early stage. We could do up to 100,000, and we do have to have partners on this. We a lot of times partner with angel groups, the Southeast Minnesota Community Capital Fund. Red Wing has a group. Rochester Area Economic Development has a group, but we do like to have partners on this, but do equity up to 100,000. The example that we have on the left side is Acre out of Winnebago. So what they do is they have drones that will go around. This is just one example that they can go into your field, a farmer's field, and just take a look around and see if there's anything that a farmer needs to take note of in any of the acreage that's out there. So those are all of the programs that we have. So then you're probably wondering what happens when I fill out the application, submit it with all the documents that we need. So at that point, Marcia and I will take a look at everything that we have available. We typically do a site visit, and then we do what we call a write-up. And we have different committees that review the application, and they're the ones that actually make that decision. So if the decision is made that the loan is approved, it takes maybe a week or so that we can give out your funds. So it's not a long process. The key is to get us everything that we need as soon as you can.
We also have other opportunities besides the lending programs. We have Prosperity Initiative, which is a mentorship for 6 months for minority and new immigrant business owners. We have business trainings. For example, this month, November 23rd, the class will be on small business cash flow tips. And this will be a virtual training. And December 11th, another virtual training will be managing expenses for small businesses. They try and have one training a month, and they're always very good. And this was pre-COVID. You can see it was well attended, but the classes are very informative and very important for small businesses. We have food peer networking groups, or we have peer networking groups, 2 food peer groups, 1 CEO peer group, and 1 women peer group. And then we have the Feast Local Foods Network. And the event is being held in Rochester in December. And if you want to buy local foods, this is a great place to go. You can either go see the vendors and pick them up at the day of the event, or you can order online and pick them up the day of the event. So if you're not wanting to be around people, online is probably the way to go. But it is a great event to check out some of the local foods that are in our area.
And the one thing to note is that, Diane and Marcia do a wonderful job. If you just have an inquiry as to just getting started in the process, we'll try to find the resources for you internally, but Diane and Marcia will work with you one-on-one to find other resources. So they do a wonderful job with that. So just pick up the phone and give them a call. With that, we will open it up to any questions. And if you have any kind of further questions that you want to email Diane or Marcia directly, please feel free to, but we'll see if anyone has any questions offhand. Otherwise, we will have this available on our website for the recording, if anyone wants to get hold of that at that time. But any questions? All right. Well, it looks like that will be it for today. So we thank everyone for taking their time and joining us today. And once again, be sure to visit our website to get more information and email us or give us a call with any questions. But thanks, everyone.